God, no sweat. Alright. Alright, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham, Yahweh Shemal Thumb Bashim Yahshua, priest and officer of 1,000 Yadai, this is priest and officer of 500 Zarwah. Hold it down the Sabbath service, now if I could. Majid. Blow the horns Zarwah. Gone. Abaya. Okay. Stay ready.
Kauka. Abad Haya, Ban Bunyamyan, Ban Yasharala.
Abba Haya, Ban Yamyan, Ban Yasharala.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatham.
Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham. Blow that thing like Joshua. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Barakatham.
La Yasharala, which means to Israel.
Son of Christ. Blow the horn against our one. All right. Imagine the palm off the dome, turn to face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. You got it, Zarwah.
Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw.
Abanaw.
Shabbat
Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Shemka. Yahweh. Malakaka. Aba'ah. Matzayka. Hayah. I.S.U.P.K. Barakazah. Kawah. Hayah. Bashamayim. The Thundernow. The Come. Cow. Yawam. Wasalaknow. Kabawaknow. Asalaknow. Kabawaknow. Wala'ah. The Ayanow. Manasai one. Abor. Hawashaynow. Mayan. Rod. Kayah. The Come. Awalakwa. Wala'ah. Watapara. Lawayim. Aman.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
The prayer for the I.S.U.P.K, the power in Hebrew. Yahweh. Shem Yahshua.
Pray for the power to God in English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it.
The prayer to bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh. Shem Yahshua.
Barak Lanah. Wayasharala. Wahaya. Sapari.
Hashem Yahushua.
The water Amun.
And in the English, Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So big.
So big.
The prayer for the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Yahushua.
Wamayaka Allah. Wa'ala'ayim. Tazaba'am. Allah Yahanna. Allah Asaranyim. Akwatazayim. Akayayim. Bahawafia. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. The water Aman. What we said in the English was, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohanna.
Commanding General Yohanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So big.
So big.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ahorya. Bayun. Daba'ah. Isaiah. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. Aisha.
Shemayim.
Wa'arakazam. Ayathan. Amawat. Regalka. Al-Yanawam. Shamarka. Hanad. La'ad. Yanawam. Wala'am. Relation. Shawamar.
Yahshua.
Yahweh.
Shemarka.
Yahweh.
Zabka.
Al-Yad. Yahweh. Yahweh. Hashemash. La'ad. Yakaika. Layarak. Layalat. Yahweh. Yashmarka. Karan. Yashmar. Abdapashka. Yahweh. Yashmar. Kazaka. Abuaka. My God. I will love. I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord,
My help cometh from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth
He
thee
that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth
he
Israel
that keepeth
shall
Israel
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in.
from this time forth
From this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Al-Hayyub.
Al-Hayyub.
Al-Dalayamaka.
Al-Dakarash.
Al-Dashaqat.
Al-Dashaqat. Al-Yahanna. Al-Yadika. Aman. Your one. Your us. Your Aimaka. Yariyamwa. Sawadad. Wayadad. Wa'itazawad. Wa'atazawanyaka. Amorwa. Kakawa. Wa'atakia. Wagavia. La'ad. Yashkar. Sham Yasha'ala. Iwada. Kaya. Wa'itazawad. Yakadwa. Ayaka. Maria. Akarabwa. Alayam. Alwam. Yashama. Alayam. Awaba. Wagari. Kabab. Imawan. Imalak. Alashak. I'm Yeshabia. Azawar. Kamashawar. Alawat. Iman. Iwad. Zarawat. Banyalawat. Salah. Aishalahab. Amadia. Kasiyab. Sarah. Koyabia. Anakab. Koyashwa. Ashihadwa. Ayun. 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 Daman. Ladadma. Shaidamwa. Yamawa. Kaira. Wakazabak. Wakazabak. Wakazamana. Kalnasi Kamwa. Ashur. Amorwa. Irishak. Amawat. Nawat. I.S.U.P.K. Saya Tamba. Gagala.
Takwash.
Apanyaraka.
Ka'ash.
Ira. Kalaba.
Kawahat. Aryam. Kam.
Ardapma. Asirika. Wabasa. Wapaka. Abahalam. Mala'am. Panyam. Malawad. Wapashwa. Shamka. Yahweh. Abashwa. Bahawa. Ayai. Kaparwa. Ayabadwa. Abdaiwa. Ayahat. Shamka. Yahweh. Labaka. Ayuwan. Al-Karataza. Psalm 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thy enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult.
and they that hate thee
They that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty
They
counsel
have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people.
and consulted against thy hidden
And
ones.
consulted against thy hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
come,
come,
let us cut them off
let us cut them off
from being a nation.
from being a nation.
At the name of Israel,
In the name of Israel,
may be no more remembrance.
may be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together
We have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom
The tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab,
of
the
Moab,
Hagarenes,
the Hagarenes,
the Baal,
Baal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the
the
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher is also joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have opened the children of Lot.
Selah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the
as
Midianites,
unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sarah,
as to Jabin,
as to Japan,
at the brook of Kishon,
as brook of Kishon,
which perished that Endor. They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
And their numbers like a
and
red,
like Zeeb.
and like Sierra.
Yea,
Yeah,
they all their princes,
like all their princes,
as Zabah
as Sabbath,
and as Zamuna,
as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to
the
ourselves
houses of
the
Yahweh
house of
in
Yahweh
possession.
and possession.
Oh, my power,
Oh, my power,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth a wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flames set up the mountains on fire.
and as the flames of the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy temper,
with thy temper,
and make them afraid
and make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded
let them be confounded
and troubled forever.
and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that they may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high
the Most High
over all the earth.
of all the earth.
And if I could, make sure y'all reading what happened during the time of Exodus and Numbers and 1st and 2nd Chronicles when the Lord did, you know what I mean, to these other nations for us, Yasha'Allah, you know what I mean, the princes of the power. Make sure you reading in the so-called Old Testament, man, and realize, man, the power that we serve. The same God that we serve, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, is the same power that made Egypt a desolate dust bowl to this day.
Right.
That destroyed Babylon, that destroyed Rome, that is going to destroy America. Make sure you tune into these classes, man, and read. And with that being said, Sar, Isupk, you can be seated. Son Christ.
You want to let that bow down?
Yeah, Bob, you can get down. You can get down, warrior. Son Christ. Again, we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is the Sabbath. This is a high holy day unto the Most High. Our power, man, Yahweh, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Everybody right now is gearing up to get ready to celebrate Halloween and celebrate all of these different, holidays that the oppressor, you know what I mean, orchestrated. Now is the time to get back in these classes, man. This is a high holy day for the Most High. This is what our people should be observing, man, instead of that goddamn Halloween.
Right.
That's what black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, the Lord is going to deal with the oppressor. The Lord is going to deal with these heathens for what they do to us, man. You have to make sure that you look yourself in the mirror and get right and tune in to these classes, man. And tune in, you know what I mean, to the generals, you know what I mean, on Black Watch and actually the prophets and let the Hebrews speak. You wanted to say something about it?
Well, actually, what you're bringing out is heavy. You know what I'm saying? If I can get a precept real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead, get down.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you're doing to your children, man, is evil. You understand? Teaching them how to hate God. You understand? And really, just to worship other gods. When the Lord said that, He said, that He suffered not on which to live.
Right.
I'm gonna go to Ezekiel chapter 20, and I'm gonna start at verse 31. It says, "For when ye offer your gifts," like that's the thing, is that in all your holidays, so-called Esau's holidays, right? Is that when they're offering gifts. You understand? This Halloween, you're gonna offer what? Candy. You understand? When all you have done, all year round is tell your children not to take candy, from strangers.
Right.
And GEN.YAHANNA brought up something so heavy in his class the other day in Chicago. You understand? He said, that valley of the shadow of death is our children getting snatched up, and now you're gonna send your children out there. You understand? To go out there and kids is gonna come up missing. You understand? Kids is gonna come up with rages, in the candy, dying of these things, because you're offering up gifts to other gods, man. And it's a curse on our people, and Christianity is that main curse, man. Right. Christianity is that main curse that is on our people that keeps us destroyed. And reading on, it says, "But when ye offer your gifts, when ye make your sons to pass through the fire, ye pollute yourselves with all your idols," man. And that's the thing, is that you're polluting yourself and your kids, man. You're polluting your kids. That's why Deuteronomy 28 and 16, I believe, or 18, it says, the fruit of thy body, you understand? Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Your children is the fruit of your body, man, and they'll be cursed, you understand? Right. Because you offer them up to idols, man. You offer them to go for what? A gift, right? Like the scripture says, a gift destroys the heart. We need to train up our children in the way that we should go, you understand? In the way they should go, Salaki. And understanding that what was that devil's name? Aleister Crowley, right? He said he's happy that Christians at least let their children worship Satan on one day, Halloween, which he's right in a sense, but in reality, Christianity lets you worship Satan every day. Right. You understand? It's just openly where you're worshiping ghouls and goblins and offering your children, more specifically, up to idols. You understand? And it says that you even unto this day, and shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? As I live, saith the Lord, I will not be inquired of by you. So you don't care of the Most High God. You don't care about His Sabbath service. You understand? That's why nobody's here. You understand? And everybody's preparing to go trick-or-treating, though. You understand? Right. Because you don't inquire of the Most High God. That's why there's no Christians here today. You understand? Right. Learning this truth about what really God wants to understand. Right. Wants us to understand. That's because you don't inquire of the Most High God. You inquire of idols, candy. What gifts can you get? You understand? That's why the Lord says that in Amos 5:21, man, that He hates your feast days, man, and He despises them. Right. He won't smell in your solemn assemblies, man. Right. He's not smelling that candy, and you know what? And it's so hard, like to our children, because like the world pushes these agendas on our children, man, and it's hard for them because they have to go to school. Right. And in that school, like you can go and tell the teacher over and over, look, my child don't do this. They're gonna make your child do it anyway. Right. You understand? Right. That's why the scripture says that our warfare is not carnal. Our warfare is against principalities, man. Right. As much as this place pushes Halloween on your children, you have to fight back. They come home, a child in pre-K and kindergarten, if anybody offers them candy, they're gonna take it. You You understand?
Right.
Yeah, especially from the teacher. Like, they trust the teacher. You understand? They're gonna take the candy because they don't really understand what they're doing. But when they get home and they say, "Dad, look, I got candy," you say, "No, put it in the trash. Daddy will go buy you some new candy." And that's the importance, is just for them to see the extreme measures that you will take, because that teacher's gonna take extreme measures to put candy in your child's hands. So for you to take the same amount of extreme measures, say, "No, you got that from Halloween, put it in the trash right now."
Right.
You understand? Because we're showing our children how to serve, how to inquire of the Lord. All right.
Right. What you bring out is just so heavy. You know what I mean? And that's what's so terrible about it, is that the school system, they're going to push it. Your teacher is going to push it. This is why, and to be honest with you, if you got a rib in the world, she may push it. You may be in the truth, and your wife may be in the world, and she might be wanting to dress your kids up for Halloween and send them on their way. You got to step in as a father and say, we ain't doing that.
Right.
We ain't doing that, not in this household, man. That's why it's important, man. This is why it's essential, you know what I mean, to come back into this body and learn this truth. Because everybody's going to get ready to send their kids out. And like Zorwai was saying, for 364 days out of the year, you tell your kids, don't talk to strangers. Right. You're going to send them to that known pedophile's house down the street to get candy? Come on, Israel. We got to do better than that.
And if I could, real quick, sir, like, we already have like pedophiles out there who try and get on your child's Facebook pages and try and get on your child's Instagram and maybe even follow your child around, and then you're just gonna help this pedophile by sending them to the pedophile.
Right, you're like the scripture say in Deuteronomy, you're passing your children through the fire of Molech. Right, you are passing your babies through the fire. Because you want them to go ahead and celebrate Halloween. You want to dress them up as ghouls and goblins. And a lot of you brothers and sisters, man, if you adults, it's real shameful for you to plan on what Halloween party I'm going to this weekend. Do you know how many of our sisters are going to get raped and drugged this weekend? Coming up? Going this weekend alone because you want to dress up as some nurse or some angel or some priest. Come on, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Now is the time to grow up. Go ahead.
If I could, like, that's why they call us a hate group, because
how about that?
We really love our people. When somebody, like I was saying out there at camp that one day, you understand? You would rather want that friend. You understand? You have two friends, right? And let's say you have a booger hanging out your nose. You want that one friend who's gonna tell you, "Hey, you got a booger hanging out your nose," because he's keeping it real. You understand? He's being real with you, and it might seem like, oh, he's trying to embarrass me or whatever, or he's trying to come up against me, but he's just trying to help you so that you don't go out in the world looking like a fool, right? That's the problem with Christianity and the world, is that they've never known true love. Right. They've never known true love. They don't love their children. You understand? They really don't love their children. What they really love is what's inside of them, how they feel. Loving yourself more than you love your own children, because it makes you happy to see your children go and trick or treat. Why? Because you did it when you was a child. You want them to celebrate and gather around the turkey dinner. Because why? Because you did it, not because you really love your child. If you loved your child, you would care after their soul, man. To be that shepherd, like the scripture says. You understand? Making sure your children serve God. That's why I read that scripture, because nobody inquires of God. You only care about what you feel inside. You only care about serving yourself, man.
And if I may too, you know what I mean, with our wives bringing out is so heavy too, it just hit me. You know, your kids may not understand right now. Your kids may look at you like, daddy or mommy, you ought to just eat the most evilest person, because you're not going to let me go out there and trick or treat with my friends. You're not going to let me go over grandma's house to celebrate Thanksgiving. You're not going to bring a Christmas tree or give me gifts on December 25th. They may hate you right now. They may think you're the most evil man and woman on the earth. But what they don't understand, that you are saving their life. Right. Don't spare their feelings. The hell with that. You are saving their lives. And don't be one of them parents that compromise. Don't be that parent, that father, that mother that's going to compromise and say, because of my child's happiness, God will wink at it. La, black man, Latino man, and woman. Don't do that. Don't do that, you know what I mean, to our power, our God. Don't do that to our, to our babies, man, these children. They have to learn. And when they grow up, Lord willing, they're going to appreciate it one day. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to pass that on down to their children and on to their children. You want to learn how to break these generational curses that we face, man? You got to come into the truth. You got to come into the UPK under command of GEN.YAHANNA. We telling our kids no for Halloween.
Right.
Lord knows our wives, got more kids than Miss Williams. His kids ain't going out there celebrating Halloween.
Hell no.
Hell no. We ain't going over, Miss Sealy house, for that Thanksgiving dinner. That ain't happening. You know what we all gonna do? We're gonna be right here doing this fine and wonderful holy day, the Sabbath service that the Lord ordained, man. That's what we gonna do.
Right.
I pray you understand. First we had Deuteronomy
Deuteronomy 25 and verse 13 is where we're going to be starting off at.
All right, you can take it if you want.
Come on. Mm-hmm. All right. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 13 in the Hebrew. Hashab Dashaya Lawa Ha'ai Bawam Kabwa Ha-Shamash Wa-Shakab Bashal Mafwa Wa-Bar-Kak Walaka Thahaya La'a Tazadak Lapanya Yahweh Alahayak, verse 14. La'a Tha'ai Shak Shabayar I Naya Wa'ab Yawan Ma'a Kayak Awa Magar Ka Ashar Ba'a Ratazak Basha'ai Rayak, verse 15. Baya Wamwa Sathat Na Shakar Wa Wala'a.
Is it the right scripture, sir? So I can cut you off.
25 verse 15. 13. Oh, I'm at 15 now.
In Deuteronomy?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 25.
You in the book or the phone?
I'm on the book.
Hold on.
I got something different. That's the only reason why I said something. I'm on the phone.
So you at Deuteronomy 25 and verse 15? Yeah, I'm on the phone too, Zarba.
Okay, no sweat. I'll go really.
It started 25 and 15 again?
25. Let's see.
Yeah, 15.
Okay, let me see. Abun
Yeah, that's it.
Shalama Watazad Dak Wahaya Laka Aya Shalama Watazad Kwa Wahaya Lada La Ma'ain Ya'ar Ya Kawa Yamayak Al Ha'adama Ashar Yahweh Alahayak Na Thawa Lak Kaya. It's like verse 16. Kaya Thawai Bath Yahweh Alahayak Kal Aisha Alaha Bala, it's like a Kal Aisha Iwal, verse 17. Zabawar Ath Ashor Aisha Laka Imal Kwa Badaryak, Bataza'at Za, Mama Tazarium, Ashor, Korak, Badorka, Waya, Zanba, Baka, Kal, Hana, Ka, Shalayam, Athkarayak, Wa'atha, Ayak, Waya, Ga'ai, Wala'a, Yara, Alahayam. Verse 19. Wahaya, Bahagaya, Yahweh, Alahaya.
You stopped at 19.
19?
Yeah, 7 verses, right? 13, 19.
Come.
Yeah.
Verse 19, from the beginning, Hayaha, Bahagaya, Yahweh, Alahayak, Laka, Makal, Ayayak, Masabaya, Ba'aratza, Ashor, Yahweh, Alahayak, Kathan, Laka, Gakala, Larasha, Lamaka, Ath, Zabor, Aymala, Kwa, Mathak, Hasham, Mas, La'a, Atshakak.
Can you read Deuteronomy 26 and verse 13 on down to 19?
Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 13. Thou shalt not have in thy bag divers weights.
What does it mean with thou shalt not have in thy bag diverse weights? What does that mean? Anybody online? Anybody in class now? Is thou shalt not have divers weights. Go ahead, bud.
Meaning, you shouldn't try to cheat your brother.
Most time correct. God is correct. You shouldn't try to cheat your brother. This is talking about when you have like those scales. And I know, I hate to use this as an example, but you got our people in the world, man, that do other things that try to cheat brothers and sisters, man. Don't matter whether it's with food or whatever, you know what I mean, or minerals. You try to cheat them, with the scale. You know what I mean, making it seem like, well, you asking for a pound. But the weight, everything is off balance and messed up, and you end up charging your brother and sister more. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. And our people have this spirit of just trying to get over. Just trying to get over and just trying to cheat anything and everybody and trying to cheat the systems. All right, you know what I mean? That's the mentality, but you can't do that to your brother, man. To be honest with you, you shouldn't be doing it to anybody.
Right.
You shouldn't be doing that to anybody, even if they're heathen, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Zarwa.
If I could, in the state that we're in, it's understandable because of oppression.
Right.
The only reason you want to get over on anybody is because of oppression.
Right.
People need to understand that. Like, the reason why you do this, the reason why anything takes place in your life like that is because of the oppression and the oppressor.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
The reason why your mama was on drugs was because somebody wanted to get over. Somebody wanted to get money. The only way that they could do that was by giving your mama some cocaine and crack.
Right.
You understand? And he was only doing that because of the oppression he was in. And the oppression he was in was caused by the oppressor. That's why we say the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he causes all this stress and oppression on our people. But our people don't realize what's going on. You understand? Our people don't realize that anything that's going on in your life, it's all to blame on the oppressor.
That's a hell of a domino effect, Zarwa, because our people don't want to hear that. I was on Clubhouse just the other day, and everybody said, well, how did this happen during the 1930s and 40s and 50s? What happened to our people? And I'm like, the oppressor happened to our people.
Right.
Like, and nobody wants to accept that answer, but that is exactly what happened.
Right.
Like, so I use the example of, why is your mom and dad on drugs? Your mom and dad is on drugs because of the oppressor. We don't own planes. We don't own boats. 2 years ago, when I was a trooper, Officer Marab brought out at camp, he said it was a ship that was found in the harbor in South Philadelphia, right? And it had, kilos of cocaine on it, and nobody went to jail.
Right.
I'm like, well, goddamn, whose coke is it? And you know where that coke ends up? It ends up back into our communities, destroying our people. Like, you have to ask yourself, how did crack get over here? How does the weed get here? Who taught our people that this was the way of life and this is how things have to be? You have to blame the oppressor. And as blacks and Latinos, we end up blaming each other. We end up blaming each other. I'll give you an example, something from my personal life. I blamed my father for years because of his drug addiction. Like, my father was the best father he could be early on. You know what I mean? But then, drugs got the best of my dad. Like, them things got on him and he started using again. And I blamed him for so many years. And it wasn't until my early 20s, where I started to realize and understand and reconcile with my dad. And it wasn't really until, I came into the truth. Where I truly forgave my father, understood that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. That the oppressor is the one, that caused my father to have the drugs as an option. We go through so much stress here in America as blacks and Latinos that seems like the only way out. You know what I mean? That's why we don't blame our people that are out there, that are in these cartels, running around in the communities, in the ghetto, in the barrio, doing what they got to do. But what we do blame is their leadership. Right. Because our leadership up in that Christian church and that Muslim mosque, they are cutting deals with the oppressor. They serving their white daddy so they can get all of our money. Because here's the problem, right? The real question is, the issue is this. You cheating your brother and your sister with that scale. The drugs come into our communities. You know what I mean? And where does that money go back to? It goes back to the oppressor and it goes back to that Christian church. Why do you think they don't come out here and openly stand up against the drug dealing that goes on in our communities? They never will. Because that drug money is what keeps the church afloat. It's what keeps the oppressor's money, and it keeps the oppressor's money fluctuating, man. That's why we have to cut this nonsense out. These are generational curses that our God put on us. These curses that the Lord put on us are real, and you can see them to this very day. But nobody wants to open up that Bible and realize, maybe, just maybe, the reason why we are messed up, the reason why we're in this situation is because we turned away from our God. There is an oppressor right now, just to use this scripture. There is an oppressor right now on October 30th. He got a scale right now about how much candy and how much poison and how many razors he's going to put in our children's candy. Right. It's crazy to think about, but this is the things that go on. These are the things that go on to this very day. You want to say something, Charles?
I just want to bring out how it's also talking about righteous judgment. You know
right.
Righteous judgment. The scripture says, that the Most High, He's not a respecter of persons. You understand? It don't matter. If the rich of Israel does a crime that the same poor of Israel will do, they both got to serve the same judgment. You understand? It doesn't matter because this one who's rich, who could put money in your pocket. That's why the scripture says that you respect the one with the gold ring and the gay clothing. You understand? Right. Because he's going to make you rich if you give him a lesser sentence. You can't have your scale in your bag unbalanced, man. Justice has to be served on both directions. That's where the Sadducees and Pharisees went off. You understand? Is that in one of the places they went off is that they wanted to give more respect to the rich of Israel. You understand? And just being just in the world is very revolutionary, man. Very revolutionary. And having the same just and the same justice for the rich and the poor, man. And
what you bring out is so heavy. That goes on to this day, even with our people. You have more sympathy and compassion, you know what I mean, to these celebrities who don't know nothing, who don't know a damn thing. Our people are so quick to forgive those, because he's a man of great stature. He's Jay-Z. He's Meek Mill. He's, you know what I mean, Pastor Ruffin. He's T.D. Snakes, Salaki, T.D. Jakes. We have to respect them all. We have to forgive them for what goes on. That's why they can't be righteous judges in Israel.
Right.
That's why they're not qualified, because they're a respecter of persons. Got to look at it from this perspective, black man, Latino man, and woman. You know what I mean? And what we have to really understand is that the only fit the rule over Israel, you know what I mean, right now is Commander General Yohanna.
Right.
That's, Commander General Yohanna. He's been doing this since 1969. You know what I mean? Until our King Yahawashi returns. Commander General Yohanna is the man to follow, black man, Latino man, and First Nation man and woman. And the priests and the rest of the generals and captains and officers in the I.S.U.P.K, we not going to cheat you. We can't say the same thing about your pastor. Because if you go, as a matter of fact, it just jogged my memories all about. They have sections. I was watching this series, right, on Netflix, right? I think it's called Green Leaf, something like that, with Keith David. And he was talking, you know what I mean, with that monotone voice. He was like, well, this is the premium section for our ongoing worshipers. He said they pay $20,000 in tithes. They have the best section in the church. I said, God damn, they pay $20,000. They get a good seat for $20,000. But here's the problem, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. What about their brother and sister that can only give what they, who really only can give their last, who don't really have much, who wants to come and learn about the Most High? You treat them like garbage. You'll treat them like they ain't nothing. And that same brother, that same sister that you looking at is meek and ain't nothing, they shouldn't even be here. That's that black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman that Christ wants. That's that black, Latino, First Nation man, woman, or child that the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K desires, man. That's all. Let's read on, Bob. Keep going.
A great and a small. Verse 15. But thou shalt have a perfect way.
Thou shalt have a perfect way.
A perfect and just way.
A perfect and just way, man. Go ahead, Zarwa.
Hey, that's a cut to Christians, man. Not only can you be perfect, but your just can be perfect. Your judgment can be perfect,
right,
as well. So, I mean, any dumb Christian that's saying that it's not possible to be perfect, like the Lord is literally saying, even your judgment can be perfect. Okay,
right.
So that's all I want to say about that.
Most High Christ, man. And Christians don't understand that because they're unjust. Right. They make excuses every single day. You know what they're going to say today, Abad? Well, we all fall short of the glory. It's for the kids. You know what I mean? I let my daughter dress up like a nurse, you know what I mean, to go to that Halloween party because it's for her. I want to see that smile on her face. I want to see my son, you know what I mean, have some candy because all the other kids are going to have candy as well, brother. Can't you just understand that? Can't you just compromise? And that's the problem. They compromise. The Lord did not. Let me make something perfectly clear to everybody. You know what I mean? It shows why the Most High is a just Father and the ultimate Father, a perfect Father.
Right.
The Lord ain't compromised with us.
Right.
The Lord did not, you know what I mean, give us an ultimatum. He didn't give us free will. He said, you have to do this. Be perfect. Right. Christ even said it. Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Go ahead, Zarwa.
If I could. Like, that's so idiotic, if I could. You understand that Christians believe that God compromised. Like, he flooded the earth.
Right.
He flooded the earth now because it's you now, right? Because it's you. Now he's compromising. When he flooded the earth with all the people in the world except Noah. But now because it's you and your grandma with her feathered hat, now he compromises. Now he has, come on, man. Get over yourself.
It's like the Most High just has to compromise for your poor grandma with that white feathered hat on. He just has to compromise for her because she called him last Saturday. Come on now, black man, Latino man, and woman. We cannot continue to be this slow and to be this stupid, man. Lord is telling us be perfect and be just. The judgment can be just, man. And that's why it's important not to cheat nobody, like I.S.U.P.K was saying, man. Because you don't want somebody to cheat you. God forbid somebody cheats you. It's the end of the world. If somebody cheats you and do you wrong, somebody do you unjust,
People go back to McDonald's for one missing nugget.
Exactly. Salakia.
That's how much you hate to be, get somebody get over on you. You're like, I'm missing one chicken nugget in here. Let me go back to McDonald's, man.
Listen, I was Popeyes the other day. I said, they don't look like 12 nuggets. I was letting ham and cheese know, like, they about to cheat me. I paid $8.99 for 12 nuggets and fries and a biscuit. I'm going to get it.
So why do it to somebody else?
Exactly. You don't want nobody to do it to you. And more importantly, man, you know what I mean? And it's amazing, too, that our God put this in the Bible to let us know how we have to conduct ourselves, man. That you just can't go around cheating anybody and everybody. Our people make a killing. You know what I mean? You think you're doing, what's the word I'm looking for? You think you came up because you cheating your brother and your sister, man. You look at it as a come up, when in reality, you cheating yourself.
Right.
You cheat your people, you cheat yourself, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, because we all we got.
Right.
Who else we got? These other nations don't give a damn about it. They cheat us all the time. And if you want to look at a perfect example of that, look at the Chinese in our communities. Look at the Chinese. Go ahead, Zarwa.
I just wanted to say, man, like that. A lot of Christians will say, well, things are taught from, because they'll say, like, hatred is taught from a childhood up, right? But you're teaching your children to get over on people every year, every birthday, every Christmas. You're teaching them that, they better have a gift and they better get that come up over you and your husband and your wife, even though they know, money might be tight. Hey, I gotta get this come up. I need to, you're just teaching them how to become that person that will go out and get whatever they need and will, disregard, what it takes to get there. You understand? Right. Because as a child, you're teaching your child in that Christmas, right, to get what they want, regardless of what it does to the rest of the family. And that is that right there. You understand? Is us cheating one another. Well, we should not teach our children that, man.
Right. And to bring it back, to the Halloween, you think you're cheating your kids by not letting them go out there and dress up, and possibly get molested or get poisoned, man. You're not cheating your child, man. You're saving their life.
Right.
Save their life, black man, Latino man, and woman. Tell them no. Let's read on.
Oh, God. And a perfect and just measure shalt thou have, that thy days may be lengthened in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
He said, man, that our days may be lengthened, man, and we shall have long days because of that, man. Read on.
Verse 16. For all that do such things, and all that do unrighteously.
Read that again. Read verse 16 again. I don't think they're going to understand this or what.
For all that do such things.
All that do such things. All of you that cheat your people, man, that cheat everybody. Read on.
And all that do unrighteously.
And all that do unrighteously. Talking to you silly Christians out there. Talking to you silly Muslims out there. All of you that do unrighteously. Read on.
Are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
I'm an abomination unto the Lord thy God. I'm sick and tired, and of seeing our people say, well, and they walk around with this sense of pride and righteousness, but you doing what the Lord said not to do. And you still like to hold your head up high. There are going to be Halloween parties tonight in the church.
Right.
They're going to have it in the church tonight, in that Muslim mosque. Right. And you're going to willingly do that. Have your children pass through the fire. You are willingly going to say, well, I know my people are impoverished. I know we're going through so much. But you're going to be in that store, whatever business you had, and you're going to openly cheat your brother and sister, man. The bananas cost this amount, but you got a messed up scale with diverse weight. you know what I mean, you try to get over, you're going to charge them more. Right. You're going to have respect the persons, you know what I mean, and not charge the rich man as much, but try to get everything out of that poor brother and sister, man. You doing unrighteously. That is an abomination unto our God. And don't think the Lord don't see it. The Lord's eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. He sees everything that goes on. And one day y'all going to have your day. This is why it's important to understand for us to turn from our wickedness, man. Like these things that we do to each other and to, you know what I mean, like our people is just wrong. It's abominable. And this is why God said, man, for all that do such things and all that do unrighteously are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. And you think you're doing nothing wrong, and that's the problem. You think it's nothing wrong with lying, cheating, and stealing and being just as evil as the oppressor. Like these things are common for him. Go ahead, Ibad.
In Ecclesiastes 23:19, it says it's 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
10,000 times. Give Ibad a hand. Most High Christ. That means nothing gets past the Most High. 10,000. Good night. You think the Lord don't see that? You think the Most High, you know what I mean? Oh, he's just going to wink at this. Everything we do is being documented by an angel. And it's going to be brought up. This is why in this period, man, that we have to turn from our wickedness. And if you don't, just know the things that you're doing, the things that you're saying, they are unrighteous, man. And no such things are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. There any more? Verse 17.
So, verse 17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way?
Now, remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way. Who is Amalek? Who is Amalek today? What did the Amalekites do to our people? I'll tell you what they did. So-called Amalek, you know what I mean, is the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now, Amalek is a son of Esau, out of woman in Hebrew. Amalek. Amalek is the so-called Jew that calls himself a Jew, but is not a Jew, but the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
And what did Amalek do to our people? What did they do? Well, the Lord is saying, remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way. Read on.
When ye come forth out of Egypt.
When ye come forth out of Egypt. We was coming out of Egypt, man. The Lord was bringing us out of Egypt, you know what I mean? You know, the Lord raised up Moses, you know what I mean, to lead our people out of Egypt. And Amalek did something that was sinister, that was cowardly. And guess what? It doesn't surprise me too. Because when I look at them evil bastards today, you know what I mean, I have a special anger I have towards Amalek. Because we have to understand this. Identity theft is a fraud. Identity theft is a felony. Eh? Right. Identity theft is a felony. They have stolen our identity. This ain't even the first thing that they've done to our people, the first crime. Go ahead, Zarwat.
If I could bring out this precept real quick. Do you mind giving me Deuteronomy 32:7?
Okay.
Like, I know America, they want you to always put things in the past, except for the things that they want you to remember. Mm-hmm. America wants you to remember what happened to them. America wants you to remember what happened to the Amalekites. Remember, you know, with World War II.
World War II.
They want you to remember that. They want you to remember 9/11. They want you to remember. But the Lord said, and they want you to forget everything that happened to you, right? With critical race theory, they're trying to make you forget about everything. They want your generations to forget what happened to them and your people. You understand? And the Lord said, remember what Amalek did to you, okay? Don't remember what happened to Amalek. Remember what happened when Amalek did to you. Ibad, if you got that, go ahead.
Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Mm-hmm. Remember the days of old.
He said what, Ibad?
Remember the days of old.
And the Lord said, don't forget what happened to you. I know they want to tell you, you know, the Spaniards coming over here is in the past. They want to tell you that slavery was in the past, right? But they want you to remember everything that happened to them. You understand? When they was under oppression and they got free. You understand? They want you to remember 4th of July. The Lord said, remember what Amalek did to you, man. Right. Keep going on, God.
Consider the years of many generations.
Now, he didn't say, remember the days of yesterday. He said many generations, man. Right. He said many generations. Remember the days of old. Go ahead, Ivan.
Ask thy father.
Ask your fathers, man. Ask the brothers who were there when the Spaniards came. Ask the brothers, the Judite brothers who were there when they took them on them slave ships, man. Ask them. Go ahead, Ivan.
And he will shew thee.
And they'll show you, man. Don't forget what happened to you. The Lord is saying right here in Deuteronomy 25, man, remember what Amalek did to you. That's all I want to say.
Most High Christ, man. If I could get one more precept of what I was saying, man, and which is just so heavy, like it's just so heavy, and why, you know what I mean? We have to remember these things and what happened to our people. Why it's important to turn back to our God. Why could I read Root 3 or 4?
Oh God,
that's another one of my favorite scriptures, man, because we tend to forget, like Zarwai was saying, we forget what happens to our people. And the so-called Jew will never let you forget what happens to them. The oppressor is never going to let go of 9/11. They're never going to let go of what happened with the so-called Jew over there in Germany. First of all, here's the problem. Here's the issue. And I say this, you know what I mean? Just to have some understanding. I understand, you know what I mean? What happened to y'all was terrible. It was rough. It was rough what happened to y'all, what Hitler did to y'all. But here's the problem. You have no sympathy for what happens to anybody else. You act like you're absolved. You act like you've done nothing. When you have sins and you have crimes that you've done against God's true chosen people, man, on what happened to us. And understand, this is what really kills me, man. Y'all say, well, we suffer like you. You were enslaved in America. We were enslaved in Egypt. Let me explain something to y'all. There ain't no, and when I say it ain't no, because I teach the history class on Thursdays, by the way, Israel. Right. You know what I mean? Learn under Captain Paul. Don't learn under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. Let me tell you something. And did some studying. There is no history of oppressor Jews, white Jews, because there ain't no such thing as a white Jew, ever being enslaved in Egypt. But you know who was enslaved in Egypt? That black man was. That Latino man was. That First Nation man was. And to show you that the Latino brothers were enslaved in Egypt, what do they have in Guatemala and Honduras and Mexico? They have something called, they have pyramids too. Meaning this, who built those? Space people. The oppressor built them. The conquistador built them when they came over there to colonize our people and rape, rob, and destroy us all. Why? No. Our people are the ones that built them when we were in slavery over there. Y'all have no sympathy for what y'all done to our people, but you want all the sympathy in the world for you. You know, I was taught growing up, Zarwai, to stay out of grown folks' business and stay out of white folks' business. What happened with y'all and Hitler was between y'all. Right. That's white on white crime. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But here's the difference, though. Here's the problem. The problem is when you attack and wage war on another nation. That's the issue. That's the problem. And you've done that to blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women. Go ahead, Zarwai.
I just wanted to bring out a quick point in regards to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so heavy. The thing is that let's name some of the things they want you to remember. Pearl Harbor, 9/11. Mm-hmm. What happened in Germany with the Amalekites?
Alamo.
The Alamo. Did I say Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, you said Pearl Harbor.
Okay. What's the running theme with all those things that happened? Oh, the oppression with England. Right. What's the running theme with all those things? All those things. Go ahead, Abba.
They was the victims in that situation.
They was the victims, yeah. But what's the running theme with America and all those things that happened?
Most of it is oppressor on oppressor crime.
That too. And what y'all saying is right, but the running theme is that they got justice for every single time of those things. Right. The Amalekites got justice. Mm-hmm. When they was fighting against the British, they got justice. They got their own country. Mm-hmm. The Pearl Harbor, they bombed damn near all of Japan. You know what I'm saying? Right. When 9/11, you know, look at over there in Afghanistan and that it looks like, you know, pile of rubble. Right. Like they've gotten justice for everything. When you know the Mexicans were trying to fight there in Alamo, at the Alamo against the oppressor, man, to push them back out of their land, which now they say we're the illegals. When we was trying to fight, Santa Ana was trying to fight these devils out of Texas because Texas belonged to the Mexicans.
Not just Texas, Arizona, California, New Mexico. You really want to get technical. All of that is technically Mexico. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, too. I say the Alamo for this reason. I choose to remember the other side of the Alamo, of our I.S.U.K brothers that died fighting the oppressor, the devil, man. I love to remember that and say, well, remember the Alamo. The only thing I liked about the Alamo was that we took some of them out, too. That we ain't just go down, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We ain't just go down, you know what I mean? You know, with our tails tucked between. Our people fought, man. Our people fought the oppressor. And this is why it's important what Zarwaz said, man, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. You know what I mean? The best way to fight this oppressor is coming back to our identity. Go ahead, Zarwaz. Continue.
Well, I was just trying to bring that out is that, you know, they got justice, but when have our people ever got justice for what happened to us? You know what I'm saying? Like, they want you to remember what happened to them, but, like, for what? They got justice.
Right.
Let's remember who didn't get justice. Let's have that that perfect weight in our bag. You understand? Y'all got justice. Hey, what about us? We're down here. Let's get justice too, right? But for America to give justice to Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, what does that mean? That means that they gotta lock themselves up, man.
Exactly.
That's all.
They gotta put themselves in cage, and they don't even realize that. That won't even cross an oppressor's mind. I remember Commander GEN.YAHANNA went out there, you know what I mean, and was talking to this devil. This devil was over here arguing with Captain Cesario. He was like, well, it was such a long time ago. You know what I mean? The Commander GEN.YAHANNA was like, should a murderer go to jail for a murder? The devil said yes. Should a rapist go to jail for rape? He said yes. Why can't y'all pay for what y'all done to our people? Y'all did it. Y'all benefit. Y'all benefit off of, you know what I mean, the enslavement, you know what I mean, and persecution of Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. I'll give you an analogy real quick. Let's say I own a house, and the oppressor comes in, kills me, rapes my wife, throws me and my wife's kids in the basement. Now, the oppressor's kids, after 40 years, lets my kids up from the basement and says, hey, let's all live together in peace and harmony. Let's live together in peace and harmony, but it's my house, it's in my name, but y'all can just live here and just pay me rent. My question is, who does the house belong to? It doesn't belong to the son of Billy Bob. It belongs to my kids.
Right.
You want to know who I just described? I just described the North American Indian. I just described the Seminole Indian. I just described the Mexican man and woman of the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Issachar, man. Reuben being the Seminole Indian, Gad being the First Nation man and woman, and the Mexicans being the Issacharites, man. That's what happened to our brothers and sisters. The oppressor came over here, raped, robbed, and killed everybody. And now the difference is, right? As a matter of fact, Zarwaz, I was a little off, and I forgot to add something. Let's throw us in there, Black man and Latino man and woman. Rape, rob, and kill us. Let us up in the basement, right? Throws the real owner of the house out and says, you're an alien. Throws him on the other side of the house. You know what I mean? We you as Zarwaz by living in this house. You know what I mean? They come in here, rape, rob, and kill us. You know what I mean? Let our kids up, but then throws our wise kids outside and say, you're an illegal alien, but our kids can stay and be in slavery and be in servitude. See the problem? And not want to let them in when it's their house first. It belonged to us. You see the problem. You see the issue. The oppressor can't even fathom that in his mind. He'll be like, well, no, I didn't do that. This wasn't my fault. You know, and then they have the audacity to say, well, what can I do? How can I repay what I've done? Pack your bags and leave.
Right.
Put some chains on.
Or put some chains on yourself. Put some chains on yourself. Lock yourself. Let all my Mexican brothers and sisters out of them goddamn cages and throw yourself and your babies in there. But you know what the issue is, though? The problem is, and I hate to say it, our people are so compassionate, especially in the world. They won't let y'all kids sit in a cage for 5 minutes. How do I know that? Because we left out something that was important to our life. Our brothers and sisters of Guatemala, of Honduras, and of Mexico are sitting in cages right now. Nobody's standing up for them outside of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Right. But when Amalek was in cages, the entire earth came out to free them. You see the problem? You see the difference? That's the problem. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. The oppressor has no empathy. He has no empathy. He's a real animal. He's a dog, man. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And there's going to come a time where he's going to be in a cage. Oh, yes. There's going to come a time when me and Zawa are going to be drinking micheladas and Goldberg is going to be running from one field to the other, working night and day. Night and day. I pray you understand. Let's read on, Ibahaya.
Verse 18. How he met thee by the way.
Oh, Salagi, let me give Baruch 3 and 4. Yeah, let me give Baruch 3 and 4, man. Because this is what we have to realize, man, and we have to remember. This is why it's important for us to turn back to our God. So I brought up a good point, you know what I mean? And we have to remember the times of old, man. We have to remember what happened to our people. We have to remember what happened to our Hispanic brothers and sisters, man. It still happens to them. What's going on with our Haitian brothers and sisters? What's going on with our people in the ghetto and the barrio? Read what you got.
Listen to the book of Baruch, chapter 3, and verse 4. O Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites.
Hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites. Who are the dead Israelites, man? The dead Israelites are our brothers and sisters that died during the Alamo trying to fight the oppressor. Our brothers and sisters who died trying to fight the oppressor and the conquistador, man. Our First Nation, you know what I mean, brothers and sisters. Our Seminole brothers and sisters who died fighting the oppressor. Our brothers and sisters who died during those slave rebellions, man. Our brothers and sisters who died, you know what I mean, during the time where Amalek, you know what I mean, attacked us cowardly, and we're going to get into that as well. It says, hear now the prayer of the dead Israelites, man. Our brothers and sisters who are dead and gone. Read on.
And of their children.
And of their what?
Children.
And we're their children. Hear now the prayers of us, because we are their children. Stop focusing on things that don't matter. Halloween doesn't matter. Thanksgiving, Christmas, none of that does not matter. The point is for us to turn back to our God so our God can hear us. You know what I mean? The Lord said in John 9 and 30 and 31, the Lord heareth not sinners.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you sin, your prayer will be an abomination to God, man. But if we turn from our sin and our wickedness, man, and pray and come back to our power and come into the I.S.U.P.K, then will God hear us, man. God, the Lord, is saying, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children. Where are the children of those dead Israelites, man? Where are the children of those Israelites that were sent to Spain, man, when the conquistador came over here and took the First Nation man and woman and the Seminole man and woman and the Mexican man and woman and took them to Spain? Where are the children of the dead Israelites that died, you know what I mean, in the Middle Passage that was brought over here to the Americas of North and South America, that was brought to Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica and St. Thomas and St. Clarence, and that was taken, man, and brought over on the transatlantic slave trade? Where are the children of those Israelites, man? Read on.
Which have sinned before thee.
Which have sinned before thee, because we sinned before our power, our God, following after different gods, following after the oppressor and their holidays. Read on.
And not hearken unto the voice of thee, their God.
Of thee, their God. Meaning he's not everybody's God, but he's our God. He ain't the God of Halloween. He ain't the God of Christmas and Thanksgiving, the oppressor and the Africans and the Asians. He's the God of blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Read on.
For the which cause these plagues cleave unto us.
And for which cause these plagues cleave unto us. You want to know why the coronavirus is running rampant to us as well? It's running its course on the oppressor. Barakatah Yahweh was shy for that.
Right.
But you want to know why it's destroying that First Nation man and woman on the reservation? Why it's destroying that Seminole man and woman down there in the South? Why it's destroying that Latino man and woman, you know what I mean, in Mexico and Honduras and Central America and Brazil and Colombia, from Argentina to Chile? Why it's destroying that black man and woman in Haiti and the Dominican Republic? Why it's destroying that Puerto Rican man and woman and Cuban man and woman in Puerto Rico and in Cuba? Is because we sinned against our God. That's why we're saying, man, that we have to turn back to our power, to hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites, the Israelites that came before us, the Israelites that died, you know what I mean, that were murdered at the hands of the oppressor. And this ain't the first time Amalek did something that was cowardly like that. Are you aware that a lot of those slave ships were owned by the oppressor? Like the so-called Jew, you know what I mean, helped orchestrate the transatlantic slave trade? They were the majority slave owners, man. But they like to tell you, oh, we have nothing to do with that. We are absolved of this. How do you think they got the Diamond District? How do you think they got Israel? They get 50 billion annually, man. What have we got? What have we got? Real justice is going to come when a black man by the name of Mashiach, who the world ignorantly knows as Jesus Christ, comes down and lays waste to this wicked oppressor, man. That's why we have to turn from our wickedness and cleave back unto our God so we can hear our prayers. That was all. Y'all want to bring something up? Let's go back to
I did.
Go ahead.
Just real quick. Like even what you were saying, you know, even that's like stuff that is in the past. Yeah, cool. But let's look at today. Like Amalek owns the banking system.
Mm-hmm.
They
sure do.
The movie and film industry.
Oh yeah, I forget about Hollywood. Hollywood's all right. Go ahead.
So I mean, what we're going to read right here in Deuteronomy is how they attacked, of course, spoiler alert, how they attacked our young and our old. Okay, how do they do that today? They attack our young through the TV. Mm-hmm. You understand, making sure that our children worship and get sacrificed to these idols. And then our elderly by you know, holding the banking system, not letting them, you know, have a good place to live on an affordable income. You understand? They're doing this, what we're about to read today, just in a modern form. That's all I wanted to say.
Most High Christ. Let's go to Deuteronomy about 25 and 19, I believe.
I think it's 18, sir.
Oh, 18? So lock your word. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 25, verse 18. How he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee.
Now, what does that mean where he spoke the hindmost of thee, even all of thee that were feeble behind thee? What does that mean? It means Amalek was such a cowardly bitch, Salakia for the language, that he came up and attacked our rear, where our elderly, our sick, you know, those, you know what I mean, who had issues, you know what I mean, who had afflictions. They went and attacked them. They ain't want to come up against I.S.U.P.K. They ain't want to come up against Zarwai. Zarwai get his hands on you. You better holler. That's it. They ain't want to come up against, you know what I mean, you know, Hawar. They ain't want to come up against Shabbat. You know what I mean? They ain't want to come up against Yana Hall, Mark Fox, you know what I mean, or Kalakazar. You run up with them brothers in the wrong alley in Newark, New Jersey. Lord be with you. They ain't want to run up against the car, man. They came against the feeble amongst us, man, the weak, the elderly. Go to show you just how cowardly Amalek has always been. They've always been cowardly bastards. And you know what they do, which I hate, and I'm like, I think I want to do a debate on this. I want to do a debate on anti-Semitism, all right? Because they throw this word out there, and they're anti-Semitic.
Right.
They're anti-Semitic. Here's the problem, which you know what they don't understand. You're not a Jew, buddy. You're not. You're not a Jew when it comes down to it. You're the devil that the Bible speaks of. That devil, Max Kellerman, had the nerve to say, well, you know, blacks and Latinos being the real Jews is low-class information. He called the Bible low-class information. He called the Torah low-class information, which goes to show you that he really is the devil that the Bible speaks of, because this Bible and the Torah, you know what that does? That substantiates our claim of being a real Jew.
Right.
Because the Torah, the Bible says that blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man, will be suffering through curses. What oppressor is going through any of the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter? Because when you read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, as a black, Latino, or First Nation man and woman, you'll be like, damn, it feels like God is punishing me. Well, guess what? God is punishing us. He ain't dealing with the oppressor like that. The scriptures say in Amos 3rd chapter, he only known us. He ain't known the oppressor. He ain't known Amalek. The Lord is punishing us. And the so-called Jew love to throw around where you're anti-Semitic if you say something about them. Saying you're not the Jew, but the devil that the Bible speaks of is biblical. Because Christ said, I will make thee of the synagogue of Satan. Those that say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. They do lie. What's their claim to substantiate them being a Jew? Why? Because you went through the so-called Holocaust. Here's another fact that they don't even like to talk about. Zarwai, that they don't even want to talk about. Their own people, the oppressors, are the ones that come out there and make movies and write books and say a lot of that ain't true. Right. They say that. They dispute the claim of the Holocaust, you know what I mean, and the exaggerated numbers. But for argument's sake, we'll give you 6 million. 600 million First Nation and Hispanic brothers and sisters were murdered at your hands. Millions, 100 million of black men and women, Salakia, you know what I mean, of the West Indian Islands, of the Isle of Hispaniola, and here in the Americas died at the hands of you. Can you compare 6 million to that 700 million right there? Is all right? Can you compare that? Are you aware that you killed so many of our brothers and sisters of the tribe of Asher that the climate changed down there in South America? But you want to call us anti-Semitic when you're anti-Semitic, because you're the devil that the Bible speaks of. You're the cowards that attacked us, you know what I mean, that attacked, you know what I mean, our rear, where our weak we're at. Which goes to show you how weak and feeble you are to this very day. Why do I say to this very day? Ask the so-called Jew today. Go to the Diamond Street and ask them. You know what I mean? Ask them what Goyim is, or Goyim. Ask them. They ain't gonna have a heart to tell you. But they're gonna talk trash behind your back. They're gonna talk trash behind our back, black man, Latino man, and woman. Ask them to substantiate their claim of them being a Jew according to the Bible, according to the Torah, and disprove our claim. Because a lot of them know who the real children of Israel are. They know they're not the children of Israel. That's why they call themselves Israelite. They're not an Israelite. They call themselves Jewish, Zarwai. The ish is telling you, dummy, you know what I mean, that you're not a real Jew. But Bahaya is a real Jew. Right. Zarwai is a real Jew. Right. I'm a real Jew. Right. Read on, my bud.
Okay. Even all that were feeble behind thee.
Even that were feeble, man. Those that were just weak. Those that were feeble, man. Those that could barely walk. Our grandfathers, our grandmothers, man. I'll never forget that. I'll never forgive the oppressor for that, man. Right. That's why King David said, I hate them with a perfect hatred. I hate them. King David was a hardcore brother, man. He said, I hate God's enemies, Lord. Because the Lord has enemies. God has enemies. And right. God's enemies is the oppressor in these other nations. Read on.
And he feared not God.
And he feared not God.
When thou wast faint and weary. Mm-hmm. And he feared not God.
The oppressor did not fear God. And to show you that he don't fear the Most High now, look at what they do to our people. They built a space force, Zarwai. They don't fear the Most High. But we have to fear the Most High, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. Why? Because our God is the same God. We saw what he did to Egypt. Right. Our people love to be like, oh, this was us. This is our people. I look at Egypt and say, look at what my God did. And he did this for us because he loves us. You can only imagine what he's going to do to America. I pray you understand. Read verse 19 and then we're going to be out of here.
Verse 19. Therefore, it shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies.
The Lord said that he was going to give us rest from all thy enemies, man. Who's going to have rest from all thy enemies? Read on.
Round about. And the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
Israel, man. Yasha, Allah, Jerusalem, Zion. Our land. The Lord is going to give us back for an inheritance. Read on.
To possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it.
We were supposed to make sure Amalek was no more. Right. This is why Saul lost the kingdom, man. Right. Saul lost the kingdom because the Lord told Samuel, go tell Saul, now it's time. It's go time. It's our turn, baby. Go blot out Amalek. Amalek shouldn't even be on the earth today. Right. Because of what they did. And that's the God that we serve. And guess what? Black man, Latino man, and woman? There's going to come a time where there ain't going to be no oppressors on the earth. Right. God is going to wipe out all of the oppressors, man. I'm gonna have Amalek in the museum for a while, like pictures. You know what I mean? They skeletons, and our baby's gonna be looking at us like him. He was walking around saying that he was us. They're gonna be looking at us like we crazy, man. They ain't even gonna believe it. They not gonna believe it, Zarwai. The Lord said that we was gonna lock them out, and the remembrance of Amalek were under him, and thou shalt not forget it. We don't forget what Amalek did to us. We don't forget what the oppressor and these other nations did to our people. We read and we do the prayers in Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Right. You know what I mean? With the Lord. That's why I said earlier, man, because General Haas would tell us all the time, especially when I was a young man and a trooper, man, to go back and read the scriptures, man. Go back and read what these other nations did to us, man. Right. And the trial and the hell that we caught and what our God did to them. God is going to do the same thing and much worse to these heathens, man. That's why it's important, man, to keep coming to class, tune in online to observe the Sabbath service. This is a high holy day, man. We got the feast of Hanukkah, the feast of the dedication of Hanukkah coming up Sunday, November 28, 2021 for 8 days. And you can read about that in the book of 1 Maccabees 4, 52 to 61. You got Purim coming up in February 15th, so like the 14th and 15th, man. Right. It's Monday and Tuesday, February 14th and 15th. Then we got the Passover, April 15th. We do our high holy days and observances, man, are trillion times better than the oppressors, man. Right. Y'all can forget about it. The oppressor wish he could, but he could never. That's why it's important, man, for us to come back to our identity and our culture and do what the Lord said to do. With that being said, you want to bring something out to her? Well, no. All right. Imagine.
You don't call it Father?
Yeah, I'll call it. All right. Bahaya.
Okay. Bahaya, ban Benyamim, ban Yashral.
Bahaya, ban Benyamim, ban Yashral.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatham.
Which means to Israel.
Right. Salute the Torah. Oh, salute the Torah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, if I could, like, y'all want to make sure y'all get out here, you understand, and get in these Sabbath service, salute the Torah, you understand?
Absolutely. Whatever. If you are in a zone, right, where you can make class, make sure you make class. Because let me explain something too. You know what I mean? What Zarwai was saying. You're not going to get your demons off of you just sitting at home. I'm not saying you can't sit at home and watch class. You can do that. But if you want to get them demons off of you, come to class. Right. Because Satan is going to tell you, oh, you ain't got to go to class today. You deserve a break. You deserve time off. When Satan tell you that, bring your ass to class.
Right.
When Satan get in your mind and tell you that, man, make sure you bring your ass to class, man, and get them demons off of you.
Right.
With that being said, Admaja. The Pungwak will know as we turn to face the east. Gonna do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew.
Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw.
Shabbat Shabbat. Kodah. I.S.U.P.K. Yahweh. Malakavka. Aba'ah. Adazayaka. I.S.U.P.K. Al-Rakza. Kawab. Ayah. Ashemaya. Utananawa. Lakab. Kab. Yawab. Wasalakna. Kawalakna. Kasalakna. Kabawatinawa. Wala'ah. Wadiayinawa. Wadisayawad. Abba. Awashayinawa. Mayan. Rad. Kaya. Lakab. Amalakwa. Wala'ah. Watapara. Lawalayim. Amen.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Prayer for the power of the Hakak in Hebrew. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K. Baba Kushal. Latananawa. Akkad. Rabah. Kalmakala. Kalmarawa. Akkad. Latawah. Amatazariah. Akkad. Ahakwiya. Amapia. Akkad. Al-Rakawath. Matalala. Gorshud. I.S.U.P.K. Tawada Aman. Pray for our God. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh, please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. So the power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
Prayer to bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh.
I.S.U.P.K.
Baraklanawa.
Wayasha'ala. Wayabaya. Sapari. Barak. I.S.U.P.K. Wada Aman. Let's pray to bless Israel. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh. Bless us and Israel. And the school. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
Prayer for the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Wayawashan. Wamayaka Allah. Alahayim. Tazawah. Alawakyan. Alawakyan. Al-Surayim. Akwadazayim. Akayayim. Wahawapim. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Wada Aman. Christ. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai. And Michael. And the angels. Commander General Yohanan. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew.
I.S.U.P.K. Ayun-Yah. Aharim. Ahayun. Naba'ah. Isoria. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Shemayim. Al-Rakza. Agitun. Lamawat. Regalka. Al-Yalawah. Shemarka. Anah. Na'ah. Yalawah. Wala'ah. Yayishud. Shawamar. Nashra'ala. Yahweh. Shemarka. Yahweh. Zalka. Al-Yah. Yayuka. Yawamah. Ashmat. Na'ah. Yakaika. Ayirah. Yahweh.
Yashimor, Kalrai, Yashimor, Aptapashka, Yahweh, Yashimor, Kazaka, Yawaika, like God, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and not coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allah
Al-Dakarash, Al-Dashakwat, Kayahana, Al-Yabika, Aman, Yowan, La'ash, Al-Aimaka, Dariyamwa, Sawadai, Aitazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amorwa, Wakawa, Manakapia, Yakalia, Yashikar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwadud, Kaya, Aitazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Laikad, Ariyak, Akaratwa, Abahayu, Ayashima, Ariyam, Awal, Margarian, Kabal, and Imalak, Hadashat, Abdishabia, Kazawar, Kamashawar, Alawat, Aiman, Ayawad, Zawad, Lapayalawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadjan, Asiyat, Sara'ah, Kayabyan, on the car, Koyashwa, Shanakwa, Ariyam, Dara, Hayawad, Aman, Gadma, Shakamwa, Nadabwa, Irad, Kazabat, Kazazamanai, Kalnasiakudwa, Ashur, Amorwa, Irishad, Anawat, Nawat, Alhayam, Shaitanwa, Magagala, Wash, Payuraka, Ka'ash, the Ba'iriya, Walaha, Kalahat, Ariyam, Khan, Ardakma, Asirika, Abasa, Wapaka, Abahalam, Alaha, Panyam, Wapakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Lahashwa, Wabahawa, Ardai, Wapaparwa, Wabadwa, Abdaiwa, Wayata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labaka, Ayuwan, Al-Karatza. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
Be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thy enemies make a tumult,
thy enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate thee
have lifted up their head.
lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
come,
come,
let us cut them off
let us cut them off.
from being a nation.
Being a nation.
At the name of Israel,
Israel,
may be no more remembrance,
no more remembrance.
for they have consulted together
They have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom,
Tabernacles of Edom.
the tabernacles of Edom,
Tabernacles of Edom.
and the Ishmaelites
And the Israelites.
of Moab,
Moab.
and the Hagarees,
Hagarees.
Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek,
Amalek.
and Amalek,
Amalek.
the Philistines,
Philistines.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur is also joined with them.
Sure, we also join with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
The children of Lot.
Salah,
Lot.
do unto
Do
them
unto them
as unto the Midianites,
to the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sarah,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kishon,
the brook of Kishon,
which perished that endure.
which perished in the north.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the
Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes as Sabbath and as Zamunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh, my power, make them like a wind, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So, Sisters, you shall be with me to be seated. Men of Israel, select. Men of Israel, Admanim Shabbat, Admanim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatam, Gashmatah, Saw, Saw, turn face sisters, Admanim. Sisters, your Admanim Shabbat with your feet at a 45-degree angle with your feet at a, with your feet at a 45-degree angle with your right hand over your left and your head bowed and covered. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Admanim Shabbat, Admanim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al-Thah Ba'Shem Yahushua. Y'all can decide with these hands down. This concludes the Sabbath service. Service dismissed. Who are you?